By 2033, the halal food market is projected to exceed $5 trillion globally. This revolution in global eating patterns is already transforming food standards across continents. In this video, I'm breaking down the biggest halal food trend that will dominate 2025, influencing what Muslims eat and reshaping global food standards for everyone. From innovative farm technologies in Malaysia to mainstream American grocery chains expanding their selections, the impact is unmistakable. As consumers increasingly prioritize transparency and ethical sourcing, halal principles resonate far beyond religious communities. If you're curious about where your food will come from next year, you're in exactly the right place. The $5 trillion halal revolution. What if I told you that in less than a decade, the halal market will be worth more than the entire GDP of India? This isn't some exaggerated claim. It's backed by rigorous economic projections that have industries scrambling to position themselves at the forefront of what might be the most significant food market transformation of our lifetime. Right now, the global halal market sits at approximately $3 trillion in valuation, comparable to the entire economy of the United Kingdom. Financial analysts tracking this sector have documented a compound annual growth rate between 7.45% and 9.56%, substantially outpacing general food industry growth rates that typically hover around 3%. This acceleration means the halal market effectively doubles in size every 7 to 10 years, outperforming nearly every other major food category on the planet. This growth represents a fundamental shift in global consumption patterns. The halal market's trajectory toward $5+ trillion by 2033 places it in rarefied economic territory, alongside only a handful of national economies: the United States, China, Japan, and Germany. The primary drivers behind this unprecedented expansion form a perfect storm of demographic, economic, and cultural factors converging simultaneously. The global Muslim population continues to grow at a rate exceeding the worldwide average, with projections showing an increase from 1.9 billion to approximately 2. This population also skews younger than global averages, creating a consumer base that will drive demand for decades to come. Rising affluence in key Muslim-majority countries is significantly boosting purchasing power. Nations like Indonesia, Malaysia, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates have experienced substantial economic development, creating expanded middle classes with more disposable income. This economic evolution transforms consumption patterns, driving demand for premium, certified products rather than basic commodities. Geographically, the growth patterns reveal an interesting evolution. While the Middle East has traditionally been viewed as the center of halal consumption, Asia has emerged as the powerhouse driving much of this expansion. Indonesia, with the world's largest Muslim population, serves as both a massive consumer market and increasingly as a production hub. Malaysia has positioned itself as a global leader in halal standards and certification, creating comprehensive frameworks that other nations are now adopting. The market has spread well beyond these traditional regions. Western Europe has emerged as a significant growth market, with countries like the UK, France, and Germany experiencing double-digit annual increases in halal product consumption. North America follows closely behind, with halal products increasingly appearing on mainstream retail shelves rather than being confined to specialty stores. The halal market ecosystem has evolved in complexity and sophistication. The technology infrastructure supporting it has undergone dramatic advancement. Digital platforms now enable seamless verification of halal status, connecting consumers directly with authentic products. E-commerce has democratized access, allowing specialized halal producers to reach global markets without requiring massive retail distribution networks. Mobile applications provide instant information about product compliance, ingredients, and even production methods. This technological evolution has transformed what was once a localized, fragmented market into an interconnected global system. Like a rapidly expanding neural network, each new technological advancement creates additional connection points between producers, certifiers, and consumers. What makes this market particularly resilient is its foundation in deeply held religious values rather than fleeting consumer trends. While other food categories might rise and fall with changing preferences, halal requirements represent non-negotiable standards for observant Muslims. This creates a baseline of consistent demand that insulates the market from typical fluctuations. The halal market has transcended its origins to become something broader, a global standard increasingly associated with ethical production, sustainability, and premium quality. This transformation mirrors what happened with organic certification, which began as a niche designation but evolved into a mainstream quality indicator. Investment capital has taken notice. Venture funding into halal-focused startups increased by more than 300% between 2018 and 2023, with particular emphasis on technology platforms that facilitate verification, discovery, and distribution of halal products. Private equity firms have begun creating dedicated investment vehicles targeting this sector, recognizing the unique combination of rapid growth and relatively low market saturation. The economic implications extend beyond food producers themselves. We're witnessing the development of entire supply chain ecosystems, specifically designed to maintain halal integrity from farm to fork. This includes specialized logistics networks, dedicated manufacturing facilities, and sophisticated certification processes, all representing additional economic activity surrounding the core food products. The financial ecosystem surrounding halal products has evolved in parallel. Islamic banking principles are increasingly integrated with food production financing, creating complete systems that maintain religious compliance from funding through production and distribution. This has unlocked new capital sources specifically aligned with halal principles, further accelerating market development. Regulatory frameworks have similarly matured. While halal certification once varied dramatically between regions, we're seeing increased standardization and mutual recognition between certification bodies. This harmonization reduces compliance costs for producers, while building consumer confidence through consistent standards. Organizations like SMAIC, Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic Countries, are developing unified approaches that facilitate global trade in halal products. When we analyze this convergence of factors, it becomes clear that the halal market isn't merely growing, it's fundamentally transforming global food systems. The projected $5 trillion valuation by 2033 represents more than sales figures. It signifies the establishment of parallel production, verification, and distribution infrastructure, optimized for halal requirements, but increasingly relevant to all consumers seeking ethical, traceable products. Beyond religion, why non-Muslims are choosing halal? The most surprising driver behind the halal market transformation isn't just religious demographics. It's the growing appeal to consumers who've never set foot in a mosque. While you might expect halal products to dominate in Muslim-majority regions, walk into upscale supermarkets in London, New York, or Tokyo today, and you'll find the Crescent Moon certification prominently displayed on premium products targeting diverse shoppers. This isn't coincidence or clever marketing. It represents a fundamental shift in how these products are perceived beyond their religious significance. Non-Muslim consumers are increasingly choosing halal-certified products for reasons completely unrelated to faith. The certification, originally designed to ensure compliance with Islamic dietary laws, has evolved in the public consciousness to communicate values many shoppers deeply care about: ethically sourced ingredients, rigorous quality control, and careful production standards. This perception transformation has turned halal certification into a powerful quality marker that resonates across cultural and religious boundaries. Health-conscious shoppers associate halal products with cleaner ingredients and more transparent production methods. The meticulous attention to hygiene and the general absence of certain additives creates a halo effect that appeals to consumers seeking better-for-you options. The clean label perception is particularly significant in markets where food safety concerns have previously damaged consumer trust. In countries with histories of food scandals, the additional layer of certification provides reassurance. Consumers report feeling that halal-certified products undergo more rigorous inspection throughout their production cycle. This alignment with broader ethical consumption trends is evidenced in major retail environments. In Tesco and Sainsbury's throughout the UK, halal offerings have expanded far beyond what would be expected, based solely on Muslim demographics. These products aren't segregated into special cultural sections, but appear alongside conventional options, particularly in premium categories. Japan presents an even more surprising example. With a Muslim population of less than 1%, the country has seen double-digit growth in halal product availability. This expansion is driven by Japanese consumers associating halal certification with meticulous production standards, a value deeply ingrained in Japanese manufacturing culture. The emphasis on cleanliness in halal preparation resonates with traditional Japanese food values. The United States market tells a similar story. In health-focused retail chains like Whole Foods, halal certification appears alongside organic and non-GMO labels. The products are found not only in metropolitan areas with significant Muslim populations, but in regions where Muslims represent a tiny demographic minority. Industry data shows that in certain product categories, particularly meat and dairy, non-Muslim purchases now account for over 30% of halal product sales. This trend is reinforced by the broader consumer shift toward ethical consumption. Modern shoppers make purchasing decisions based on how products align with their personal values. The stringent requirements around halal certification, which often necessitate complete supply chain transparency, satisfy the growing demand for food products with verifiable sourcing methods. Survey data from Nielsen reveals that approximately 28% of non-Muslim consumers in Western countries report checking for halal certification at least occasionally when shopping for specific food categories. This percentage increases to nearly 40% among millennials and Gen Z consumers, who place higher importance on ethical consumption practices. These younger demographics often view halal certification as part of a broader commitment to conscious consumption. The appeal extends beyond perception. The dietary patterns emphasized in halal food preparation often align with current nutritional trends. The focus on clean eating, mindful consumption, and careful ingredient selection matches the priorities of health-conscious consumers. The absence of certain additives restricted under halal guidelines appeals to those seeking minimally processed foods. Several brands have successfully capitalized on this crossover appeal. Saffron Road has positioned its halal-certified products as ethically sourced and humanely raised first, with halal certification as a supporting credential. Their frozen meals appear in mainstream grocery stores nationwide and appeal to customers interested in ethical eating. Similarly, the Halal Guys. Originally a New York City food cart catering primarily to Muslim taxi drivers, has expanded to over 90 locations globally. Their customer base includes people from all backgrounds who associate their brand with quality ingredients and transparent preparation methods. The halal certification serves as a trust marker rather than a religious identifier for many customers. In the UK, Haludis has successfully positioned itself as a premium meat brand that happens to be halal certified. Their products appear in high-end retailers like Harrods and appeal to affluent consumers seeking higher quality regardless of religious affiliation. Their marketing emphasizes animal welfare and quality assurance. The cosmetics market demonstrates this trend clearly as well. Brands like Emika and Wardah have built substantial customer bases among non-Muslim consumers who appreciate their cruelty-free, alcohol-free formulations. The absence of certain ingredients prohibited under halal guidelines aligns with what clean beauty advocates seek, creating natural market synergy. This transformation of halal from a religious requirement to a broader quality standard is reshaping market strategies worldwide. Major food manufacturers pursue halal certification not just for Muslim markets, but to capitalize on the growing perception of halal as signifying superior quality. Companies that might have once hesitated to display halal certification now feature it prominently. The implications of this shift set the stage for broader global trends. As halal certification becomes increasingly associated with quality and ethical production, we can expect continued integration of halal standards into mainstream food systems. The distinction between halal food and conventional food may gradually blur as more producers adopt halal practices to appeal to this expanded consumer base seeking quality, transparency, and ethical production. Meat, poultry, and seafood, the backbone of halal growth. Behind this broader shift in consumer perception lies an economic reality few people recognize. The backbone of the entire halal industry, the category driving innovation, investment, and growth, isn't plant-based alternatives or processed foods. It's the traditional meat, poultry, and seafood segment that commands 56.4% of market share, transforming how these products are sourced, produced, and marketed worldwide. This concentration of market power creates a fascinating dynamic for the entire halal ecosystem. When more than half of all halal spending flows through meat products, innovations, standards, and practices developed for this segment ripple throughout the industry like waves from a stone dropped in a pond. The meat category fundamentally shapes the market's direction and evolution. The prominence of meat within halal consumption patterns reflects deep cultural and religious traditions while evolving into something more complex. Consumer expectations around hygiene, sanctity, and food security have become central to this category's dominance. These products serve as economic engines, generating employment and trade opportunities that positively impact local and global economies. What makes this category particularly intriguing is how it's becoming a gateway for ethical consumption beyond religious boundaries. The rigorous standards applied to halal meat production, encompassing everything from animal welfare to processing methods, create a value proposition that resonates with consumers seeking products aligned with their moral concerns. Consider Myanmar Corporation, which transformed its supply chain after recognizing growing consumer demand for transparency. By implementing QR codes on packaging that reveal the complete journey of their meat products, from farm conditions to processing facilities, they saw a 32% increase in repeat purchases within 6 months. This innovation exemplifies how the meat segment functions as the compass guiding the broader halal market toward greater accountability. Crescent Foods similarly positioned itself at the forefront by pioneering sustainability initiatives within the halal meat industry. These companies are market innovators whose business practices reflect a deep understanding of changing consumer values. Their success reveals something crucial about the future trajectory of halal meat. The companies winning in this space are exceeding basic certification requirements by integrating broader ethical considerations that appeal to an expanded consumer base. This approach attracts traditional halal consumers and those who prioritize ethical sourcing and production methods, regardless of religious affiliation. The quality standards governing halal meat production create a distinctly different product compared to conventional alternatives. While religious requirements form the foundation, the certification process extends far beyond basic compliance. Ethical slaughter methods represent one of the most significant differentiators, with specific requirements designed to minimize animal suffering. This aspect of halal production has become increasingly important as consumer awareness of animal welfare issues grows. The certification requirements create a comprehensive framework ensuring that all aspects of production meet ethical standards, from sourcing to processing. This thoroughness creates a powerful trust signal for consumers who may feel overwhelmed by conflicting claims in the conventional meat industry. The clarity of halal standards provides a simple shortcut for those seeking products aligned with certain ethical values. This perception of superior ethical standards allows halal meat producers to implement premium pricing strategies. Consumers demonstrate willingness to pay more for products they believe offer added value beyond basic nutrition. The premium pricing reflects both the additional costs associated with halal production methods and the perceived value of ethical compliance and certification. The economics of this premium positioning create a positive feedback loop within the industry. Higher margins allow producers to invest in improved facilities, better ingredients, and more sustainable practices, which reinforces the premium perception of halal meat products. This creates separation from commodity meat products and establishes halal offerings in a distinct category with its own market dynamics. Looking toward 2025, several technological innovations are poised to transform how halal meat products are produced and verified. Advanced tracking systems using digital technologies will enable unprecedented transparency throughout the supply chain. Consumers will increasingly expect to access complete information about their meat products, from farm practices to processing conditions, through simple smartphone interfaces. Production technologies focused on sustainability represent another frontier for innovation. Water conservation systems, renewable energy integration, and waste reduction processes are being developed specifically for halal meat facilities. These advancements address growing consumer concerns about environmental impact, while maintaining strict compliance with religious requirements. Processing innovations that extend shelf life without compromising halal integrity will expand market reach for these products. Current limitations in distribution often restrict halal meat availability in certain regions, but new preservation technologies compatible with halal standards could remove these barriers, further accelerating market growth. Quality testing methodologies are also evolving rapidly. New techniques can verify species authentication, detect prohibited ingredients, and confirm appropriate slaughter methods with greater accuracy and efficiency than traditional approaches. These advancements will strengthen verification systems and increase consumer confidence in product authenticity. The established supply chains, consumer preferences, and certified production facilities create significant barriers to entry for competing food categories. However, this concentration also creates vulnerabilities. Supply chain disruptions affecting meat production can have outsized impacts on the broader halal market. Events like animal disease outbreaks or trade restrictions pose particular challenges for an industry so heavily weighted toward this category. As the primary driver of halal industry growth, meat products essentially function as the foundation upon which complementary products and services are built. From specialized logistics networks to verification technology, developments often begin in the meat sector before expanding to other categories. This pattern of innovation diffusion means that watching trends in halal meat production offers valuable insights into the future direction of the broader market. The practices pioneered by leading meat producers today frequently become standard across the industry tomorrow, making this segment a crucial indicator of emerging patterns. The cosmetics revolution. Halal beauty takes center stage. As halal standards reshape the food industry, they're simultaneously triggering a revolution in an unexpected sector, your beauty routine. The $500 billion global cosmetics industry is experiencing a halal transformation that challenges everything we thought we knew about ethical beauty, creating products that serve values beyond religious requirements. This transformation is tangible and measurable. Brands like Wardah from Indonesia, Inika Organics, and Amara Cosmetics are leading the charge, successfully competing against conventional beauty giants. The halal cosmetics and personal care market shows remarkable growth, driven by expanding beauty demands worldwide and consumers seeking products aligned with ethical principles. Halal-certified beauty products offer a compelling combination, typically alcohol-free, cruelty-free, and often vegan, making them attractive to diverse consumers beyond Muslim communities. Cosmetic products with halal certification undergo rigorous scrutiny. They must contain no forbidden ingredients and be manufactured through processes that meet specific religious requirements. This scrutiny has positioned halal beauty at the forefront of the clean beauty movement. The halal label increasingly serves as an indicator of purity and ethical production. It connects religious values with broader consumer concerns about safety and ethical sourcing. Traditional cosmetics differ significantly. They frequently contain alcohol-derived ingredients, animal byproducts, and components incompatible with halal standards. The conventional industry has prioritized performance over transparent sourcing. Halal beauty demands complete transparency throughout the supply chain. This creates a paradigm where ethical considerations integrate into every development stage. The market success stories confirm this potential. Wardah has established itself as a powerhouse by targeting consumers seeking ethical beauty solutions. Similarly, Inika Organics has secured significant market presence by combining halal certification with organic and vegan credentials. They effectively address multiple consumer priorities simultaneously. These companies redefine consumer expectations for beauty products. Their growth shows how meeting halal requirements naturally aligns with other ethical considerations. When products must be alcohol-free and exclude animal-derived ingredients for certification, they automatically address concerns about ingredient safety and animal welfare shared by many non-Muslim consumers. Halal beauty standards significantly overlap with broader clean beauty trends. The absence of alcohol addresses concerns about skin irritation and dryness. The prohibition against animal-derived ingredients leads to vegan formulations appealing to the growing plant-based consumer segment. These convergences mean halal cosmetics offer solutions to ethical concerns transcending religious considerations. This values intersection explains why diverse consumers are attracted to halal beauty products. For many, the certification represents additional quality assurance beyond conventional regulatory frameworks. It signals meticulous ingredient sourcing and manufacturing processes aligned with personal consumption values, whether from religious conviction, ethical concerns, or health considerations. The formulation innovations driving this category deserve attention. Halal cosmetic manufacturers have pioneered alternative preservation systems, using natural antimicrobial ingredients. These innovations often result in gentler formulations suitable for sensitive skin. The requirement to avoid animal-derived ingredients has accelerated research into plant-based alternatives for common components like collagen and glycerin. These technical advances yield products with broader appeal. Halal-certified lipsticks typically exclude carmine, a red pigment from insects, in favor of mineral or plant-based colorants. This makes them suitable for consumers with specific allergies or concerns about insect-derived ingredients. Halal-certified skincare products feature plant-based moisturizing agents rather than animal-derived alternatives, appealing to those seeking sustainable beauty solutions. The market implications are substantial. Industry forecasts show halal cosmetics will drive significant growth within the broader halal market. Beauty products offer higher margins and opportunities for brand differentiation, despite representing a smaller segment than halal food. This economic reality attracts investment and innovation, accelerating the category's development. The trajectory toward 2025 is clear. Halal cosmetics will emerge as a major disruptive force in the global beauty industry. The category's alignment with clean beauty trends positions it to capture market share from both traditional cosmetics and other ethical beauty segments. The certification increasingly functions as a quality marker transcending its religious origins. This transformation will appear in mainstream retail, with dedicated halal beauty sections in major department stores across diverse markets. Digital platforms will adapt with specialized filters to help consumers identify halal-certified options. Product innovation will continue accelerating, with halal beauty brands pioneering new approaches to formulation challenges affecting the wider industry. The response from established beauty conglomerates signals this shift. Major multinational companies are developing halal-certified product lines or acquiring existing halal beauty brands. This pattern mirrors the food sector, where large corporations recognized halal certification's market potential. By 2025, this corporate recognition will further legitimize the halal beauty segment. For consumers, this evolution means unprecedented access to products aligning with both religious requirements and broader ethical concerns. Muslim consumers gain expanded options without compromising between faith and self-expression. Non-Muslim consumers interested in clean beauty discover halal certification as a meaningful indicator of product purity and ethical production. The implications extend beyond individual purchasing decisions. As halal beauty grows, it influences broader industry standards around ingredient transparency, ethical sourcing, and manufacturing processes. The requirements for certification create pressure for improved supply chain documentation benefiting all consumers. This demonstrates how values-based market segments can influence broader industry practices. Halal ecosystems. The game-changing infrastructure, supply chain documentation, is merely the beginning of the halal manufacturing revolution. Imagine a place where every factory, warehouse, and logistics center operates under halal principles, where cross-contamination is structurally impossible and compliance is built into the physical environment itself. These specialized industrial zones already exist and are rapidly expanding their influence across multiple continents. The birth of halal parks. 15 years ago, Malaysia implemented a visionary concept that would fundamentally alter how halal products are manufactured. The Halal Park Initiative created dedicated industrial zones specifically engineered to streamline halal production processes. Unlike traditional industrial parks where companies operate independently with varying standards, these specialized zones function as controlled environments where halal compliance is the foundational operating principle rather than an afterthought. What began as an isolated experiment has evolved into a comprehensive infrastructure revolution. These parks function as beehives of ethical production, complete industrial ecosystems where every element supports halal integrity. From shared utilities and specialized waste management systems to dedicated transportation networks, these zones eliminate many of the contamination risks that plague conventional manufacturing facilities that attempt to produce both halal and non-halal products. Solving supply chain bottlenecks. The strategic genius of halal parks becomes evident when examining their impact on supply chain challenges. One of the most significant hurdles facing halal manufacturers, particularly in cosmetics and specialty foods, has been the chronic shortage of certified halal raw materials. Traditional supply chains require individual companies to source, verify, and maintain halal compliance for each ingredient, creating redundant effort and frequent shortages. Within these specialized ecosystems, this problem finds an elegant solution. By clustering suppliers and manufacturers together in a controlled environment, halal parks create economies of scale that make producing specialized halal ingredients economically viable. A single supplier can serve multiple manufacturers, spreading certification costs across a larger production volume, while maintaining strict halal protocols throughout the process. A shift in manufacturing philosophy. The transformation underway represents a fundamental shift in manufacturing philosophy, moving from a product-focused approach to a comprehensive supply chain approach. Every link in the production chain operates under harmonized halal principles within these specialized zones. This systematic approach eliminates the fragmented compliance that characterizes conventional manufacturing, where halal certification often happens at the product level, rather than the system level. Companies operating within these ecosystems gain substantial competitive advantage beyond simplified compliance. Reduced certification costs, streamlined logistics, knowledge sharing, and collaborative innovation create powerful incentives for businesses to relocate their operations to these specialized zones. Expanding across borders, Indonesia has emerged as a powerful force in this infrastructure revolution, developing its own network of halal parks, inspired by Malaysia's pioneering model. With the world's largest Muslim population, Indonesia brings both market scale and manufacturing expertise to these initiatives. The Indonesian government has made halal park development a strategic priority, recognizing that building this specialized infrastructure positions the country to capture a larger share of the growing global halal market. Catalysts for innovation. The impact of these ecosystems extends far beyond manufacturing efficiency. They're becoming the birthplaces of entirely new halal brands and product categories. The controlled environment and established compliance framework lower barriers to entry for entrepreneurs, allowing innovative products to move from concept to market with fewer regulatory hurdles. New halal brands can leverage the shared infrastructure and expertise, greatly reducing the capital investment typically required to launch certified products. For established multinational companies, these specialized zones offer an efficient entry point into the halal market. Rather than converting existing facilities, a process that often requires extensive modifications, companies can establish dedicated halal operations within these purpose-built environments. This approach simplifies compliance while minimizing cross-contamination risks. Accelerating knowledge transfer. The concentration of expertise within these ecosystems accelerates innovation through knowledge sharing and collaborative problem solving. When technical specialists, certification experts, and manufacturing engineers work in close proximity, solutions to complex production challenges emerge more rapidly. Innovations developed to address specific challenges in one facility can quickly spread throughout the ecosystem, raising capabilities across all participating companies. Standardizing global practices. What makes these halal parks particularly powerful is their role in standardizing practices across a fragmented certification landscape. These specialized zones typically adopt comprehensive standards that satisfy the most stringent certification bodies. This harmonization helps companies avoid the costly process of maintaining multiple certifications for different export markets. Beyond manufacturing, these ecosystems integrate research facilities, testing laboratories, and specialized logistics services that support halal compliance throughout the product lifecycle. Some of the more advanced halal parks house dedicated research institutions focused on developing new halal ingredients and production technologies. Economic and environmental impact. The economic impact of these specialized zones extends beyond the companies operating within them. They become powerful export engines for their host countries, creating jobs, attracting foreign investment, and generating valuable foreign exchange. The controlled environment makes these parks natural hubs for halal exports to markets worldwide. The halal park model continues to evolve, with each generation incorporating more sophisticated features. The newest facilities include renewable energy systems, water recycling technologies, and advanced waste management, aligning halal production with broader sustainability goals. What began as an experiment in Malaysia has sparked a global movement, with similar initiatives now appearing across the Middle East and parts of North Africa. These regions recognize that developing specialized halal manufacturing infrastructure provides a competitive advantage in capturing the growing global demand for certified products. Blockchain revolution, securing the halal supply chain. Beyond manufacturing and infrastructure, the halal industry faces a fundamental challenge that's existed since global trade began: trust. While halal parks secure production integrity, what happens when products leave these controlled environments and travel across continents to reach consumers thousands of miles away? This trust gap is closing as certification bodies implement blockchain technology, creating an unalterable digital record that makes the entire halal journey transparent and tamper-proof. Pick up a product at your local supermarket, scan a QR code with your smartphone, and instantly see its complete journey from the farm where ingredients were sourced to the manufacturing facility and every checkpoint along the distribution route. This practical application represents blockchain technology reshaping halal verification. The application of QR codes, combined with blockchain, facilitates improved traceability and enforcement of halal authenticity for certified products and services. Explains a recent industry report analyzing this technological shift. This approach directly addresses rising concerns about fraud and mislabeling that have plagued the halal industry for decades. The technology creates a decentralized digital ledger, essentially a chain of information blocks, that records every step of a product's journey from production to store shelf. Blockchain's value for halal verification lies in its immutability. Once information is recorded, it cannot be altered. This creates a level of trust that conventional paper certificates or digital databases cannot match. For Muslim consumers navigating global markets, this verification capability represents a significant advancement. Instead of relying on printed halal logos that can be counterfeited, blockchain provides cryptographic proof of compliance that's virtually impossible to falsify. Each verification step adds another secure block to the chain, creating a complete history that follows the product wherever it goes. Implementation is already underway, with several leading certification bodies announcing plans to integrate QR code and blockchain systems. These systems allow consumers to scan a product and immediately access the certification status and the entire verification journey, showing which standards were applied, which audits were performed, and which ingredients were verified as halal compliant. Notably, this technology solves a growing challenge in non-Muslim majority countries. As research indicates, this approach offers a practical solution for sharing halal status in non-Muslim countries without displaying the physical halal logo on the product label. This functionality proves especially valuable in regions experiencing growing Islamophobia, where the visible presence of the halal logo might inadvertently lead to negative perceptions or reactions. Blockchain verification allows manufacturers to embed compliance information digitally, accessible only to those seeking it. As a result, Muslim consumers can confidently verify halal status, while companies avoid potential marketing challenges in diverse markets. From a technical standpoint, the integration process works through several stages. Certification bodies first audit production facilities and verify compliance with halal standards, recording this information as the first block in the chain. As the product moves through manufacturing, packaging, distribution, and retail, additional verification points are added. Each stakeholder contributes to building this unbroken chain of information. Despite the sophisticated technology behind it, the consumer interface remains remarkably simple. A smartphone scan reveals key information in an easily digestible format: certification body, verification date, production location, and ingredient sources. More detailed information remains available for those who want to explore deeper, creating transparency without overwhelming the average consumer. Moreover, early adopters report benefits extending beyond consumer trust. The same systems that verify halal compliance enhance overall quality control, allowing companies to quickly identify and isolate problems anywhere in their supply chain. This operational visibility helps maintain consistent quality standards and respond rapidly to emerging issues. For certification bodies, blockchain extends their oversight far beyond initial certification, creating continuous visibility throughout the product lifecycle. Subsequently, this capability ensures that halal compliance becomes a continuous commitment throughout the supply chain, rather than a one-time achievement. The business case for implementation grows increasingly clear. Companies adopting blockchain verification can command premium pricing based on provable compliance. Additionally, these blockchain-verified products enjoy faster certification processes for new markets, as existing verification data can be easily shared with regulatory bodies in different countries. Looking toward 2025, this technology promises even more sophisticated capabilities. Current blockchain systems are being enhanced with artificial intelligence that can automatically identify potential compliance issues preemptively. Furthermore, these AI systems analyze patterns in verification data, flagging unusual activity that might indicate compromised halal integrity. Additionally, real-time monitoring systems using IoT, Internet of Things sensors are under development to continuously verify critical halal parameters such as temperature, ingredient separation, and manufacturing conditions. These sensors feed data directly into the blockchain, creating a living record of compliance. The power of this technology lies in how it democratizes verification. Consumers gain direct access to primary verification data, allowing informed decisions based on personal halal requirements. This direct consumer access incentivizes companies to maintain rigorous standards, as compliance failures become immediately visible to the marketplace. By 2025, these verification systems will likely integrate with broader food traceability platforms, creating comprehensive visibility across halal compliance, organic certification, fair trade verification, and sustainability metrics. This convergence will allow consumers to identify products aligning with their complete value system. For the halal industry specifically, blockchain addresses the persistent challenge of fragmented certification standards across different regions. The technology accommodates multiple certification frameworks within a single verification system, allowing products to demonstrate compliance with various regional standards simultaneously, a valuable capability as global halal trade expands across diverse regulatory environments. Halal-compliant ports, the missing link in global trade. While blockchain technology creates an unalterable digital record, the physical journey of halal products through international shipping lanes has remained the industry's blind spot until now. In a development that's reshaping global trade routes, specialized halal-compliant ports are emerging as the missing piece in securing genuine end-to-end halal integrity. Think about it, a halal product might be manufactured under perfect conditions, blockchain verified and destined for Muslim consumers. But what happens during those critical weeks when it's floating across oceans? Your halal goods are likely packed in standard shipping containers, handling equipment that processes everything from alcohol to pork products, and managed by personnel with no halal training. This maritime gap represents perhaps the most significant vulnerability in the entire halal supply chain. European ports recognized this challenge years before others. The Port of Rotterdam in the Netherlands, Europe's largest seaport, was among the first to establish dedicated halal-compliant zones within its massive operation. The Port of Zeebrugge in Belgium and the Port of Algeciras in Spain implemented similar initiatives, creating segregated areas where halal products receive specialized handling that maintains their integrity. What makes these ports different? At a halal-compliant port terminal, every aspect of operations adheres to Islamic principles. Storage facilities are completely segregated to prevent cross-contamination. Loading equipment undergoes specialized cleaning protocols. Even documentation procedures reflect this commitment to integrity, with tracking systems that maintain halal designation throughout the port process. The most advanced halal ports employ dedicated staff trained in halal requirements who understand the religious significance of maintaining proper separation. Some facilities have installed washing stations specifically for ritual cleansing of equipment that contacts halal goods. These ports serve as secured harbors for ethical products, protecting their integrity when they're most vulnerable during global transit. These specialized ports create accountability where there was previously a blind spot. Traditional shipping manifests rarely specified halal status, making it impossible to enforce proper handling. Now, with dedicated terminals, halal products receive explicit designation throughout the shipping journey, creating responsibility at each transfer point. This movement has spread far beyond Europe, with European innovations setting the international precedent. Malaysia, already a global leader in halal standards, has positioned itself at the forefront of halal port development, in Asia. Northport became one of the region's pioneering halal-compliant facilities, followed by similar initiatives at Penang Port, Johor Port Authority, and Kuantan Port. These facilities serve as critical nodes for importing and exporting halal goods throughout Southeast Asia. These ports create network effects that strengthen the entire halal ecosystem. When a manufacturer knows their products will travel through a halal-compliant supply chain from factory to consumer, they can guarantee continued integrity. This certainty drives investment in production facilities, knowing the downstream logistics can maintain standards. The innovation extends beyond physical facilities to the shipping companies themselves. Major maritime carriers are developing specialized halal logistics solutions that guarantee door-to-door compliance with Islamic principles. These shipping services include dedicated containers, specialized handling protocols, and unbroken documentation chains. Some carriers now offer full maritime halal logistics packages specifically designed to meet the import requirements of OIC countries. These developments address a fundamental paradox in the halal industry. How can you verify the integrity of a product when you can't witness its entire journey? Until recently, consumers simply had to trust that their halal-certified products remained uncompromised during shipping. Halal-compliant ports remove this uncertainty, providing documentation of proper handling at every stage. The OIC SMISC, Standards and Metrology Institute for Islamic Countries, is finalizing a comprehensive port module under its International Halal Supply Chain Management System standard. This framework, expected to launch in 2025 as part of the OIC SMISC 17 standard, will provide formalized guidelines for halal port operations globally. While no dedicated halal port terminal standard currently exists, facilities are using general halal standards as frameworks. The forthcoming OIC SMIA standard will eliminate this ambiguity, creating consistent expectations across all participating ports. Industry analysts project that by 2025, we'll see a significant expansion of halal-compliant port facilities across Muslim-majority countries. Following the European and Malaysian examples, new specialized terminals are planned throughout Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. These facilities will create dedicated shipping corridors that guarantee halal integrity for products moving between major Muslim consumer markets. This expansion is reshaping global trade patterns. As halal-compliant ports proliferate, specialized shipping routes are emerging that connect these facilities. Products can now travel from Malaysia to Saudi Arabia through an entirely halal-verified channel, creating new trade relationships between countries with shared values. For importers and exporters, these developments create both opportunities and challenges. Halal-compliant shipping offers access to premium markets with price premiums for verified products, but requires adaptation to new documentation requirements and potentially higher shipping costs. Companies that embrace these specialized routes gain competitive advantages in Muslim-majority markets. The economics driving this expansion are compelling. Muslim consumers increasingly demand verification throughout the supply chain. Manufacturers who can guarantee unbroken halal compliance command price premiums that justify the additional shipping costs. For non-Muslim markets exporting to OIC countries, halal-compliant shipping represents an opportunity to increase market share. European and North American food exporters are increasingly routing products through halal-verified channels to access lucrative Middle Eastern and Southeast Asian markets. The shipping industry itself is undergoing transformation. Major carriers now offer specialized training for crew members handling halal cargo. Documentation systems have been updated to track halal status across multiple transfers. Even container designs are evolving to better maintain separation during transit. This maritime revolution pairs perfectly with blockchain verification systems, creating a seamless physical-digital bridge. When a product passes through a halal-compliant port, that information is recorded on the blockchain, creating an unbroken chain of verification from production to consumer. E-commerce, the digital gateway to halal accessibility. The blockchain-verified journey from factory to port is only half the story. The final mile to your doorstep is undergoing its own silent transformation. Major e-commerce platforms are now competing to become the trusted gatekeepers of halal integrity, creating a digital infrastructure that could make authentic halal products accessible to Muslims in even the most remote corners of the world. Consider Fatima, a young professional living in a small European town with no halal grocery stores. Just 5 years ago, maintaining her dietary preferences meant hours of travel to larger cities. Today, she orders certified halal products through her smartphone, receiving everything from specialty meats to cosmetics within days. Her story represents millions of Muslims whose access to halal products has been revolutionized by digital commerce. This shift democratizes access to halal products. A Muslim consumer living in a remote area with no local halal options can browse thousands of verified products with a few taps. This digital revolution addresses one of the most persistent challenges in the halal market: uneven distribution and limited accessibility outside major Muslim population centers. When tech giants like Amazon and Alibaba establish dedicated halal sections on their platforms, they fundamentally reshape market access. These digital storefronts connect halal producers directly with consumers across continents, effectively removing geographical barriers that once limited distribution. The numbers tell a compelling story. Digital purchases of halal products have increased by over 300% since 2020, with mobile commerce accounting for nearly 70% of these transactions. This explosive growth indicates increasing demand and a fundamental shift in how consumers discover and purchase halal goods. But how can we ensure trust in this digital halal ecosystem? E-commerce giants are implementing sophisticated verification systems. Amazon has created a specialized vetting process requiring documentation from recognized certification bodies, conducting random product sampling, and establishing specific guidelines for product photography that must clearly display certification marks. Alibaba has integrated halal verification directly into its supplier rating algorithm, giving higher visibility to sellers with consistent halal compliance, creating powerful market incentives for maintaining rigorous standards. Imagine a world where halal verification happens instantly, regardless of where you shop. This future is already materializing through comprehensive online directories that serve as crucial infrastructure for the digital halal economy. Platforms like Zabiham provide detailed listings of halal-certified products and services, building trust through transparency and empowering consumers with reliable information for making informed purchases. Beyond the major players, specialized halal-only platforms are emerging to serve specific regional markets. Dagang Halal in Malaysia, Halal Wide in the UK, and Aladdin Street in Singapore have created digital ecosystems exclusively focused on halal products with stringent verification processes. Dagang Halal reported a 15% increase in transaction volume in 2023 alone, serving over 2 million registered users across Southeast Asia. The next frontier involves mobile applications that scan product barcodes in physical stores to instantly verify halal status. These apps cross-reference products against certification databases, alerting consumers to potential issues before purchase. Several such apps have reached over 5 million downloads, indicating strong consumer demand for verification tools that bridge physical and digital shopping experiences. These platforms are reshaping consumer behavior in profound ways. Muslims in diaspora communities can now maintain dietary preferences that might have been nearly impossible before. Meanwhile, non-Muslim consumers curious about halal products can explore offerings without social barriers that might exist in physical stores. Artificial intelligence is being tailored specifically for halal discovery. Advanced recommendation engines now incorporate halal preferences alongside traditional factors like price and reviews. Some platforms have developed specialized filters, allowing consumers to specify particular certification bodies they trust or adhere to specific interpretations of halal requirements. Industry analysts project that by 2025, e-commerce will account for over 60% of all halal transactions globally, up from approximately 35% today. This represents a fundamental reconfiguration of how the halal market functions. Could your smartphone soon become your personal halal verification assistant? As these technologies advance, we're seeing increasing attention to data privacy concerns as platforms collect detailed information about religious preferences. Leading platforms are implementing specialized protocols for handling halal preference data with heightened security measures, recognizing that information about religious dietary choices requires particular sensitivity. The competitive landscape is evolving rapidly. Traditional retail giants are accelerating their entry into the digital halal space, while technology startups focused exclusively on halal verification are securing significant venture capital. This competition drives rapid innovation in verification technology and user experience design. The implications extend throughout the supply chain. Producers are adapting packaging, portion sizes, and product formulations specifically for e-commerce distribution. Specialized halal-compliant fulfillment centers are being established to maintain integrity during the last-mile delivery process, implementing protocols to prevent cross-contamination during storage and shipping. This digital transformation creates unprecedented opportunities for small-scale halal producers. Artisanal food makers, indie cosmetics brands, and fashion designers can now reach global markets without massive distribution networks. This democratization of market access fosters remarkable innovation across all halal categories. Even consumer-to-consumer marketplaces are implementing halal verification features for person-to-person transactions. This facilitates community-based commerce around halal products, particularly in regions with limited commercial options. What will your halal shopping experience look like 5 years from now? The trajectory suggests a world of unprecedented accessibility, where even the most specialized halal products are available anywhere with an internet connection, backed by verification systems that provide confidence in their authenticity. Those community marketplaces represent just the visible tip of a massive economic iceberg. Even non-Muslim consumers and investors are flocking to halal products and businesses. This paradoxical trend, where religious certification creates universal appeal, is generating investment opportunities that transcend traditional market boundaries and could produce the next generation of billion-dollar companies. Investment frontier, the business opportunity of the decade. What makes the halal sector particularly compelling for investors is its remarkable growth trajectory. The halal food market is projected to reach $3.3 trillion by 2029, with a compound annual growth rate of 13.4%, outperforming numerous traditional investment sectors and capturing the attention of financial analysts worldwide. The investment appeal extends beyond market growth. The halal economy is evolving into a global movement characterized by ethical practices and increasing consumer trust. This creates a unique opportunity landscape where religious compliance intersects with broader market trends like sustainability, clean ingredients, and ethical production methods. Digital transformation stands at the forefront of these drivers. As halal commerce moves online, tech-focused investment opportunities are multiplying. Venture capital firms are backing startups that develop verification technologies, specialized e-commerce platforms, and AI-powered tools enhancing the halal supply chain. These technologies create scalable business models with potential for exponential growth, precisely what attracts serious investment capital. The year 2025 marks a pivotal turning point in this investment frontier. The halal industry is positioned for mainstream recognition and global expansion, accelerated by key drivers that sophisticated investors are monitoring closely. Take Halal-Cart, a verification app that raised $12 million in Series A funding last year. The platform uses blockchain to authenticate halal compliance across global supply chains, addressing both consumer trust concerns and regulatory requirements. Its user base has grown 300% annually, demonstrating the market demand for technological solutions in this space. The influx of institutional investment represents a significant evolution from the sector's historical funding patterns. Traditional community-based financing is giving way to private equity firms, sovereign wealth funds, and international venture capital players establishing dedicated halal investment vehicles. This shift brings greater capital resources, professional management expertise, and global market access. Specialized investment funds focused exclusively on halal-compliant businesses are emerging. These funds apply Islamic finance principles while targeting high-growth segments within the halal ecosystem. Their portfolio companies receive capital and strategic guidance on scaling operations while maintaining halal integrity, crucial for sustainable growth. The cosmetics and personal care segment offers another compelling investment thesis. With their focus on clean ingredients and ethical sourcing, halal beauty brands are winning market share in both Muslim-majority and Western markets. Investors recognize these brands' global scalability, particularly as they expand through digital channels. Several high-potential segments are emerging as particularly attractive targets. The intersection of halal with sustainability represents one opportunity. Companies developing plant-based protein alternatives that meet halal standards are attracting significant investment. These businesses address multiple consumer demands simultaneously: religious compliance, environmental consciousness, and health considerations, creating powerful market positioning. Performance metrics of these specialized funds reveal interesting patterns. Early data suggests their returns often match or exceed conventional counterparts, particularly over 5-year horizons. This stability stems partly from the defensive characteristics of halal consumer products, which demonstrate resilience during economic downturns, as religious dietary requirements remain constant regardless of economic conditions. Valuation trends for halal-certified companies reveal an interesting premium in certain sectors. Businesses with robust halal certification, particularly those operating in multiple markets, often command higher multiples than conventional counterparts. This reflects both their access to specialized market segments and appeal to the ethical investment community that values religious compliance alongside environmental and social governance factors. Technology infrastructure. Supporting the halal economy represents perhaps the most scalable investment opportunity. Verification platforms, traceability solutions, and specialized e-commerce marketplaces can achieve rapid growth through network effects while requiring modest capital investment. These tech enablers benefit from the entire halal ecosystem's expansion without being tied to any particular product category. The demographic fundamentals support long-term growth. The global Muslim population is projected to reach 2.2 billion by 2030, creating a substantial consumer base. This population expansion coincides with rising disposable incomes in key Muslim markets, fueling demand for premium halal products across multiple categories. Investors must navigate unique challenges in this sector. Regulatory complexity represents a significant hurdle, as halal standards vary across regions and certification bodies. Sophisticated investors are developing specialized expertise to evaluate certification validity and market recognition, crucial factors in determining a brand's scalability across borders. Knowledge asymmetry creates both risks and opportunities. Investors with deep understanding of halal requirements enjoy significant advantages in identifying promising ventures before mainstream recognition drives valuations higher. This specialized knowledge becomes a competitive advantage in early-stage investing, where identifying future category leaders requires both market insight and cultural understanding. By 2025, halal-focused investments will emerge as a distinct asset class, with dedicated allocation strategies within broader portfolios. Institutional investors will develop specialized units focusing on halal market opportunities, bringing greater analytical rigor and capital resources. The most successful investment strategies will target companies at the intersection of halal compliance and broader market trends. Businesses that effectively combine religious requirements with innovation in sustainability or digital commerce will attract premium valuations, capturing both dedicated halal consumers and broader ethical markets. For entrepreneurs seeking capital, this evolving landscape creates both opportunities and elevated expectations. Venture funding will flow toward halal startups, demonstrating scalable business models, technological innovation, and strong governance. The emergence of secondary markets for halal-focused investments will enhance capital liquidity, driving consolidation, and creating more robust market leaders. The dominant trend of 2025: integrated halal lifestyle ecosystems. While investors focus on individual market segments, the truly visionary players are building integrated ecosystems that will make isolated halal products obsolete. What happens when blockchain verification, specialized marketplaces, and sustainability practices converge into unified platforms that serve every aspect of a halal lifestyle? The consolidation we're seeing among market leaders is laying the groundwork for something far more transformative. The halal economy is evolving beyond fragmented solutions toward comprehensive ecosystems that encompass every aspect of daily life. These integrated systems create seamless experiences that extend from food to finance, travel to technology. This convergence represents perhaps the most significant paradigm shift the halal economy has witnessed since its inception. Consider how consumers currently navigate the halal landscape. They might use one app to verify ingredients, another to locate halal restaurants, and yet another to find halal-friendly accommodations while traveling. Now imagine all of these functions unified in a single ecosystem that anticipates needs before they arise. That's exactly what's emerging as we approach. What makes these ecosystems revolutionary is their holistic approach. They create interconnected networks where verification, commerce, and service delivery function as a cohesive unit. Much like an orchestra where each instrument plays its unique part, but contributes to a harmonious whole. This integration eliminates friction points that have historically complicated halal living, particularly for Muslims in non-Muslim majority countries. The digital transformation driving this trend is particularly evident in e-commerce, where major platforms are becoming central hubs within these ecosystems. Amazon and Alibaba are implementing comprehensive verification systems for third-party sellers, ensuring that products maintain halal integrity throughout the fulfillment process. These platforms also serve as distribution channels connecting halal-certified producers with global consumers. Online directories have evolved from simple listings to comprehensive consumer resources. Services like Zabiha.com exemplify this transformation, expanding beyond restaurant reviews to become complete lifestyle platforms. These digital touchpoints function as user gateways to the broader halal ecosystem, simplifying discovery and verification. A truly integrated halal ecosystem encompasses financial services that comply with Islamic principles, travel accommodations that address prayer facilities and dietary needs, healthcare services that respect religious sensitivities, and entertainment options aligned with Islamic values. This comprehensive approach recognizes that halal living is a complete lifestyle. Early examples of these integrated ecosystems are already emerging. In Southeast Asia, several platforms have launched all-in-one apps that combine food delivery, grocery shopping, and restaurant reservations with built-in halal verification. These platforms incorporate user reviews and certification information, creating community-powered verification layered with official certifications. Other platforms provide end-to-end solutions for specific life events. Consider halal wedding planning platforms that integrate venue selection, catering services, and clothing options, all pre-verified for halal compliance. The convenience factor is compelling. Consumers can rely on ecosystem partners that maintain consistent standards rather than researching each vendor individually. The emphasis on sustainability within these emerging ecosystems represents another critical innovation. Eco-halal products combine traditional halal requirements with environmental consciousness, addressing growing consumer demand for ethical practices beyond basic compliance. These products emphasize organic farming methods, responsible sourcing, and environmentally friendly packaging. This sustainability focus allows companies to differentiate their offerings while connecting with consumers who prioritize both faith-based values and ecological responsibility. The integration of these principles makes sustainable choices more accessible, allowing consumers to align multiple values simultaneously without compromise. The technological infrastructure supporting these ecosystems integrates advanced verification systems, utilizing blockchain and artificial intelligence with consumer-facing interfaces that simplify the user experience. Rather than requiring consumers to understand complex certification standards, these systems translate compliance into clear, accessible information. Personalization represents another key advantage of integrated ecosystems. As these platforms gather data on consumer preferences, they can tailor recommendations and services to individual needs. A consumer who regularly purchases organic halal meat might receive targeted information about sustainable seafood options or eco-friendly household products that align with both their halal requirements and environmental values. For producers and service providers, participation in these ecosystems offers significant advantages. Small businesses gain access to established verification systems and distribution networks that would be prohibitively expensive to develop independently. This democratizes the halal market, allowing innovative startups to compete alongside established players. The emergence of these integrated ecosystems is also driving standardization within the halal industry. As ecosystem operators establish consistent requirements across product categories, they're effectively creating practical standards that may eventually influence formal certification processes. This addresses one of the industry's persistent challenges: fragmentation among certification authorities. Payment systems within these ecosystems are increasingly incorporating Islamic financial principles, allowing consumers to complete transactions in ways that align with their religious values. This integration of Halal-compliant financial services represents a significant evolution from earlier e-commerce platforms. The competitive landscape reveals interesting dynamics as technology companies, retail conglomerates, and certification bodies vie for central positions within emerging ecosystems. This competition drives rapid innovation as each player leverages their unique strengths to establish ecosystem advantages. For consumers, the primary benefit will be simplicity. Rather than navigating complex certification standards or researching individual products, they can rely on ecosystem verification to maintain halal compliance across their lifestyle choices. This simplification reduces the additional time and effort traditionally required to maintain halal living standards. Looking ahead to 2025, these ecosystems will mature with more intuitive interfaces, transparent verification processes, and comprehensive product selections. Cross-border functionality will improve, allowing Muslim travelers to maintain halal living standards more easily when visiting different countries. So where do you fit into this halal revolution? Join this movement. Your choices matter. As a consumer, you'll find diverse options that align with ethical standards and quality expectations. Entrepreneurs can innovate within a rapidly expanding ecosystem, hungry for fresh ideas. Investors should recognize the potential of this sector, driven by demographic shifts and growing cross-cultural appeal. The most successful participants will be those who understand halal as a comprehensive approach to authenticity, transparency, and responsibility in our global food system. Like tributaries flowing into a powerful river, each participant strengthens this meaningful transformation of our food landscape.